Hey Rockstars, Lid Shaw, I'm here at AES New York City, number 147. I'm standing here with my man Martins from Sonarworks. How you doing?
Hey there, doing very good.
I'm holding the phone with my left, with my right hand, so I have to shake with my left. Hope that still counts.
Sure.
So now, you guys make amazing software for our studio that helps compensate for the troubles that our speakers are having and the troubles that our headphones are having. And it's called Reference 4, and I love it.
Yeah.
You guys have been a wonderful sponsor on the podcast in the past, in fact, so a lot of the rock stars know about you. But you now have a new version, right?
Yes. So right now, as of a few weeks ago, we have 4.4 as our latest release.
Okay.
It basically improves on the workflow that the software can use. Kind of now you can have multiple presets you can have multiple presets for different output channels that you have, so you can set it up so that your one output has the headphone preset on and the other output has the speaker preset on, and if you change the headphones, then you can also easily switch the presets, so that gets way more convenient. We really hope that users enjoy that. That's kind of one of the most asked for things.
Yeah, because just recently I was having to remember to switch.
Yes.
I would start mixing in headphones with the headphone setting, and then I take it out and I listen on speaker and I was like, oh my god, what did I do? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot to switch it back to speaker.
So now cool. It maybe looks a little more complicated, but it's way more powerful in terms of how you can configure your system and make sure that each channel has the right calibration on it, and to get the reference sound on everything that you use in the studio.
Okay, cool, fantastic. Well, let's jump in and we'll take a look at some of the stuff you got.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, very cool. So tell us, what are we looking at here? I mean, it looks like you have a session from Ableton Live open or something like that.
So this is basically our trade show demo project that we run that allows you to compare sound of different headphones. But on the screen you're looking at the plugin, Sonarworks Reference 4 plugin. It's more or less the same in this release that it has been now for a while, but it has improved in terms of how you can select the profiles that you're running, so you don't have to browse through the long catalog. But you can
that's very cool. Now it's going to be
go for the kind of top presets that you have.
Well, let's explain to the rock stars the basics of what we're looking at here too. So basically, just to give a quick rundown, we got input metering. This is what's coming from the DAW while you're working.
Yes.
Here's your output metering, which is after Reference 4 processes the sound, that's what's coming out. And then we've got some of these crazy looking graph lines here. So tell us what that is that we're looking at.
So the blue curve that you can see is the frequency response of the headphone or speaker profile that you have loaded. That's basically the profile that the plugin is working with.
Which basically means like, here's a pair of headphones. You love them, you think they're okay, here we go. Here's the Biodynamics, which I love. I have the DT770s. You love them, you mix on them, but then what you didn't realize is that's actually what they sound like.
Yes, and that's actually the coloration that they add on top of whatever you have been doing in your project.
Yeah, so like no wonder you love them, because they're making it that you think that your record's sounding killer, but actually it's faking you out. Right?
Exactly. And then that's kind of one of the things that causes the translation problem, is that you're actually not hearing what exactly are you doing when you're creating your mix or your production, right?
Exactly. So then Reference 4 actually goes in and sort of reverses this.
Yes, exactly. So you have a target curve. You can actually change it, but by default it's flat. That's kind of what we find that most users actually prefer, and that's the most productive. And then it basically, what it does is you can change here the curves. But basically, if you see the correction, then the correction curve is the inverse of the coloration, so it's canceling it out. But it's managing the low end and the high end to make sure that it's not kind of trying to boost your low end by like 30 decibels below your headphones or something like that. So they take the physical ability of the device into account, manage the safety of your gear. But basically, you can see what it's doing to your sound. And there are actually two things. One is that's kind of going on here and why our product actually is useful for people. One is that you're just kind of, if you're listening without reference, then you're just hearing the kind of headphone coloration that comes with a particular model that you like, or the speaker coloration that works with your room. And you're just kind of maybe getting wrong impression on the things that you have created. But for that, kind of with time, you can learn how your gear sounds and kind of learn to compensate for that. But the other thing that's more interesting even is that there is this thing called masking effect. Which basically means that if there is a huge bump somewhere in the frequency response, then your brain really kind of pays attention to that bump and kind of listens into those frequencies more, and you're actually not hearing things that are right next to the bump as clearly. So you might be just objectively missing out on some sounds that are going on in the region right next to the bump, because they're being masked by the bump. So when you actually even the bumps out, then it not only becomes more truthful to what's going on in your mix, but you're actually hearing more detail because you're removing all the masking effects. And so then the effect that people are saying they're getting is that before they were struggling with translation. They did the mix and then they go to the car, they make some notes, they kind of come back, they go to the bedroom, whatever stereo that they have, they make some other notes, and they make like 10 cycles like that, and sometimes they're not even able to fix all of the kind of issues with their song, and they're saying, hey, okay, maybe I'm not as good engineer as I would like to be. But when they start mixing with Reference 4, then they very often write back to us saying, oh my god guys, now kind of I tried mixing on this, I was sort of skeptical before, but now I did the mix and it kind of translates instantly, and I maybe did some small changes, I send it off to the clients and they're like, oh my god, this is so good. And
well, that's
really an efficiency booster.
Big struggle for me is particularly is getting the low end right on the mix. So like I'll have kick and low end and subs going in the studio and it sounds really cool, and I'm like, you know, I convince myself that my mix sounds good, but then I would take it out to the car and I'm like, oh my god, what was I thinking? Like the bass is insane, or the kick doesn't make any sense. And a lot of it had to do with not hearing the low end accurately. And once I started using Reference 4 on my mixes, all of a sudden we got to the car and it's like, whoa, that's exactly what I thought it sounded like. I'm learning how to get it to sound right. And then when you talk about also this high end right here, and the high end boost, I've discovered that Sonarworks was allowing me to start more accurately. Also, my mixes were too dark, you know, because it was getting the high end boost in that room. And so, like, Reference 4 was allowing me to accurately balance out the highs and the mids, which is cool. You know, just
let me actually show you something interesting real quick.
All right, cool. So what are we looking at here?
What we're looking at here is in the plugin, you see just one profile of that particular headphone. Right here, you have a chart that's more or less kind of a combination of many different speaker and headphone profiles that we have measured. So what you can see here is that all of them actually sound really, really different depending on which device you're having. You'll either be having problems in the low end, or you'll be having problems in the high end, or you'll probably be hearing the problems in the middle. But the point is that now with our technology, we can take whatever headphone or speaker profile you have and actually bring it up to a reference standard very, very close to it, so that it starts sounding consistently even across different places, across different devices. So it kind of starts mattering less whether you're in this room or in that room, whether you're traveling and mixing your headphones.
Which pair of headphones
you're getting kind of on the same kind of platform of reference sound that allows you to move around and be efficient with your mixes. This is actually a very, I don't know how interesting is it for everybody, but to me, I find it fascinating. This is kind of from the studios that we have been measuring, this is more or less the kind of ballpark of frequency responses where most of the studio sounds fall into, and you have actually like plus minus 7 dB, so you have like up to 14 dB differences in how places where people mix music sound like in the bass. So that's kind of that's the bullseye of where the translation problem is coming from, I think, at the core, and I think we're actually solving it, so which is exciting.
That's very cool. Thank you for showing us all this stuff.
Welcome.
Rockstars, I highly recommend you check out Reference 4. It's well worth doing. I think you guys even have a demo if you just want to experiment with it at first. But you do want to have a good mic to shoot out your room.
You have a 21-day free trial for the software. We very much believe in kind of hearing it before actually buying for it. So we want you to find and experience the benefit for yourself before you actually shell out any of your hard-earned money for it.
You'll be pretty blown away though.
So for the headphones, it's pretty easy. Kind of, if you have one of the compatible headphones, you can find the list on our website, but more or less all the Pro headphones are covered. So you can just download the software and try it out right away. To try out the speaker system, you will have to use a measurement microphone. So unless you have one, you absolutely have to get one. You can't use a not measurement microphone. You have to use a measurement microphone. You can buy this package from us or one of the dealers that carry our products, which is the free trial box. You basically get for the price of the measurement microphone, you get the mic and the trial. So then you can kind of test it out, and if you like it, then upgrade to the full-priced product. But absolutely get the mic if you want to try the speaker package.
So yeah, Rockstars, remember, you can get the mic, and you do that if you want to use your speakers in your studio and try it that way. But if you just want to experience it right away, just download the demo and try out a pair of headphones and mix that way, and you're going to be pretty amazed at how effective that is. Thanks for showing us all this stuff, Martins. Let the rock stars know how they can find you guys online. Where can they go learn more about it?
On sonarworks.com.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks for watching, Rockstars. Also, remember to follow us and follow Sonarworks on Instagram or YouTube or wherever you're watching this. See you guys in the next video. Cheers. Shake your hand the right way this time.
The other hand.
Right on, man. See you guys.